the face of my car.
August 12th, 2023. If it's 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, it's time for This Week in Waukesha. I am your host, Downtown Donnie Browne, coming to you live and local from the office of former Alderman Don Paul Browne here in the old NAMI building, right around the corner from Theodora Yaumans Park, where we are proud to honor our suffragette heritage here in the Shaw. And one of the big notables this week is the final pipe in the connection to the Milwaukee water system that will bring Lake Michigan water to Waukesha. As of this week, all of the pipe supply and return flow is in the ground. There's still a lot of testing and commissioning that will be done over the next month. I'm having a good time this one. The transition to Lake Michigan water for residents is expected in mid-September. You can learn more at greaterwateralliance.com/transition. And Dan Dukniak, the head of our water utility, who was on earlier this summer, we hope to have on that first Saturday in September in a recorded show because I believe the ribbon cutting is scheduled for September 7th. So congrats to our water utility and the city on what's been a very ambitious and historic project and a real watershed, pun intended, for this city's history. But now history in the making. It's our honor to have back on Coach Jon Stillman. I have to correct myself. I was calling him the assistant head coach and offensive coordinator. He's actually the receivers coach for our beloved Waukesha South Black Shirts. And joining him, and the new tradition we've started with having some senior leaders are two all Classic 8 seniors, Logan Tank Dable, and what do we say? Full reporting or full
disclosure.
Full disclosure. Thanks,
there
Coach.
We go, yeah.
Coach is an English teacher too, by the way. So full disclosure. My son, Evan Stout, receiver, defensive back. Logan, of course, is a lineman, but can play a lot of different positions in the field. Gentlemen, welcome. How's everybody doing this morning?
Great. Doing good.
Excellent.
Right. Sounds good. So it was a busy day for me yesterday morning. First, I went over to Carroll University's. They started their first full week of training camp to prepare for the season. And we're proud WOUK will be broadcasting Carroll football on the radio starting September 9th, Saturday. The Quick Trip Glazer Bowl, which I know these guys, they eat half their meals at Quick Tricks, so hopefully they'll be there for it. And then later that day at 11, I showed up at Ken Holub Stadium at Waukesha South to see Evan Logan and their teammates in their first scrimmage against Whitnall and Tosa East. And Coach Stillman, what are your thoughts on the first scrimmage?
It was, honestly, I didn't know what to expect with the new guys that we have, and just having those guys perform the way they did and doing the things that we've been teaching them for the last 2 weeks was really encouraging. We still have a lot of work to do. We still have a long ways to go, but yeah, walking out of there yesterday, I was very encouraged.
Yeah, I was too. I really saw some great execution with the passing game. I thought the defense looked really solid. It was great to see some of these guys. Now, I've watched Evan and Logan play since they were in fifth grade, along with many of their teammates. Hector Carranza, who will likely be tagged as the starter at quarterback, and I'm sure will share duties with Ben Jimenez. And to see these guys growing, Isaiah Dunlop looked really good too.
I thought both quarterbacks do things well differently. They both bring different qualities that almost like the two-headed quarterback. And they showed that yesterday. And if we can keep them upright and healthy, you know what? We're going to be okay.
Sounds great. And speaking of okay, or more than okay, Johnny's calling in from the farmer's market. Are you there, Johnny Watermelon?
Well, good morning, everybody. How's it going up there?
Great. So welcome back. A big adjustment for you after being at the Wisconsin Valley, what was that called, festival in Wausau last weekend?
Yeah, it was the Wisconsin Valley Fair. It was a beautiful event. I mean, it's been a long time since I've done a fair like that, but I'll tell you, it was just a great thing. So, but I'm back on my home turf. and feels real comfortable here, if I can say the word right. A lot of produce is in, man. I mean, it's really got it picked up here. So, hey, I just had a quick question for your guest there today.
Yeah.
So, tell me, guys, what's your plan of attack for the final season in the Classic 8?
Do you want to take that one, Logan or Evan?
Yeah, we just got to go in there, toughest conference in Wisconsin. A lot of young guys on the team. I think we're just going to have to find a way to fight through the games. They're never easy.
Yeah.
So we just got to find a way.
Sounds good. How about you, Ev?
Well, you've got...
Hang on, Johnny. Ev's talking.
Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead, Ev.
Go ahead, Ev.
I feel like we have a lot of new stuff this year, and I feel like we have built a team kind of around how we want to play this year, and I feel like we're going to play really well with what we're given this year, and I feel like that's kind of what's going to lead us through the Classic 8 is kind of doing something a little bit different than we usually have.
Sounds good. Coach Stillman?
They sounded really good. We know that with our enrollment, we're at a little bit of a disadvantage. Obviously, that's why we're changing into a conference that is more suited to our population. But those guys are right. We're gonna do some things. We're gonna do less things well. We're not going to try to have a really thick playbook. We're going to try to do things that we do well over and over again, and hopefully that'll get us through.
Sounds good. So, hey, Johnny, what else is looking good at the farmers market?
Well, I'll tell you, it's just really a great place to people watch. I mean, I just talked a little bit about all the produce and stuff down here. And, I just had a little trivia question. So when I check in next time, see who gets the answer right, Don. I'm just going to throw this out there. It's kind of a new little bit that I want to start.
Sure.
So if anybody can tell me who are the only two inductees, and I know this is a little bit off the main course here, but the only two inductees into the Baseball Hall of Fame that never played a game, never had anything really to do with baseball, but they were inductees. So I'll check in with you.
Coach Stillman has his hand up. I think he's got an answer for you right now, Johnny.
Oh,
Coach?
That's because he's like, what do you got, Coach?
Abbott and Costello?
That's
you
right.
got it.
Who's on
Boom.
first? That's right.
Yeah,
I would
that's
never.
the
I was going to
greatest
say
kid
like Grantland Rice or some other Ernie, or what's the name, Harry Carey and Ernie Harwell. But, that's great,
right.
Johnny. That's a good question.
All right, you
Hey.
cheered everybody up, man.
All
okay,
right.
so we'll see ya.
All right, Johnny Watermelon giving us the crop report from the farmers market. And Johnny will be calling in later with some more updates. But it looks like beautiful weather for the farmers market, and I wouldn't be surprised if these three head over there afterwards. I hear they've got a maple bacon scone that does not suck. Actually, I've had it. It is really, really tasty. So making room for that. And so, hey, want to shout out to Anastasia, who's back. We missed her again last weekend. Was it another Hobbit-themed wedding or event you went to?
Not a Hobbit-themed wedding. No, I ran off to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, to see some old friends and discovered that brotherly love only goes so far. I'm very happy to be back in the Midwest, all I can say.
Sounds great. Well, welcome back, Anastasia. So
thank you for having me back.
You got it, yeah. So I know Anastasia, she wanted to get back to check in with South Football. She's become a convert. So, hey, I got a little background on these guys that Coach Stillman may not know about. When Evan and Logan started in fifth grade, that team did not get a single first down that whole season. The second season, I don't even think they got a touchdown. They got some first downs. The third season, I believe it was a Tyler Williams pick six against Catholic Memorial that finally knocked the lid off. And then you guys won like 3 games. I think you won 4 games that year. And then when they were in 8th grade, the head coach, varsity coach A.J. Rabel, switched them out of the Classic 8 for the youth football. And they ran the table. They won the division. It was the first time any South team at any level had made the playoffs. And their only loss that year was, ironically enough, against Waukesha North on a night when their star tailback, Isaiah Dunlap, that's your dad texting, Logan. He says you look great. No, but Isaiah Dunlap was sick with the flu. And one of the stars, a kick returner, was not wearing a skilled position jersey number, something the North coaches concocted. And it was much closer in the final score, but that was their only loss. And the rest of the season, they ran the table, and they were down some games. They'd be down by 2 scores, and they would fight back and like 40 unanswered points. And so they showed a lot of character, a lot of heart, a lot of skill. And again, I know we're low in numbers this year, but it's important to note the team that you guys lost to, it was like Belgium Cottage Grove, had 16 players. So, what I saw in the scrimmage yesterday, and I think one of the real achievements in the Wiltz era, Coach Darnell Wiltz, was in that first season, 2 seasons ago, they had 0 season-ending injuries because of the strength training program that was implemented and updated. And last year we had so many injuries, and a lot of that I think was just flukes. I mean, we were talking about how many times does a guy blow out his Achilles tendon in high school or college or pro football. So you got to be feeling pretty good after yesterday, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Talk in the mic.
Yeah.
Talk in the mic.
I mean, body's definitely sore. Finally going against other people that aren't your teammates, go like full speed and just run into them. But no, definitely feeling sore. But after that, I'm feeling good about this season.
Sounds great. How about you, Ev?
Yeah, I'm feeling good about the season. Looking at the defense, I really liked our defense a lot. I think that's what stood out yesterday was how aggressive we can play against other teams and how just everybody was moving around and flying around.
Sure. Here's an anonymous question, quote unquote. Now, as seniors, who were some of the upperclassmen that helped shape you to become the players you are today?
For me, being on the line, Aiden Rasa, he was a senior when I was a sophomore. He was the definition of a walk-through warrior, and every time I had to go against him, he'd kick my butt. But I just think that grew me as a player. But last year, everybody knows Tack and CJ. They were just kind of like those leaders that everybody could look up to.
Sounds great.
And
cool.
I feel like us seniors implement
when we come back from the break, Logan's going to tell us about other role models from the team, as well as Evan Stout when This Week in Waukesha continues. Scott Allen, State Rep, is my guest next week on This Week in Waukesha. Don't go away.
Shaw, home of Les Paul, our awesome farmers market, and The Shaw, 540 AM and 101.1 FM, WAUK, home of Les Paul, our awesome farmers market, and The Shaw, 540 AM and 101.1 FM, WAUK, home of Les Paul, our awesome farmers market, and The Shaw, 540 AM and 101.1 FM, WAUK, home of Les Paul.
I just need some place where I can lay my head. Hey, mister, can you tell me where a man might find a bed? He just grinned and shook my hand. No was all he said. Take a load off Fanny. Take a load for free. Take a load off.
Hey, we're back this week at Waukesha with my guest, receivers coach for the Black Shirts, Jon Stillman, and his all Classic 8 seniors, Logan Tank Dable and Evan Stout. And that was the band with the weight. And hearts are heavy here in the office of former Alderman Don Paul Browne and all throughout Guitar Town, USA, upon hearing on late Wednesday night, August 9th, of the passing of musician extraordinaire Robbie Robertson at the age of 80 as one of the members of the band, along with Lee Von Helm, Rick Danko, Richard Manuel, and Garth Hudson. Robertson was on the front line of 3 music revolutions, and one of them was being with Bob Dylan during his transition from folk to rock into electric guitars. And the band's first album, Music from the Big Pink, released in 1968, is considered one of the greatest of all time. And their last concert in 1976 was captured in the iconic 1978 Martin Scorsese film, The Last Waltz, that featured a who's who of musical legends, including their former frontmen, Ronnie Hawkins and Bob Dylan, along with Eric Clapton, Van Morrison, Neil Diamond, Neil Young, Emmylou Harris, Dr. John, Joni Mitchell, Mavis Staples and the Staple Singers, Muddy Waters, Pinetop Perkins, and so many more. And Robbie Robertson was born in Toronto to Jewish, Mohawk, and Cayuga parentage, and was raised in the Six Nations of the Grand River Reserve, southwest of Toronto. And he continued collaborating with Scorsese, providing music on many of the films, including Raging Bull, Goodfellas, The Irishman, and the upcoming film Killers of the Flower Moon, which I highly recommend. I just read that book. Coach Stillman, if you're still teaching English, you should recommend that to your class.
Okay.
And glad to hear, even though he's a Queensryche fan, Coach Stillman said the Black Shirts are dedicating this season to Robbie Robertson. Hey, a couple texts came in. Athletic director for Waukesha South, Dan Schreier, says it's a nice start. Props to the young men for getting up early and being ready to go on their day off. And Mr. Dan also said, nice call on the band. So, Dan, you're going to hear some more music from the band throughout this broadcast. And then Melissa Browne, president of the Waukesha South Boosters, and my wife and Evan's mother says the boys sound good. So great to hear. And
Don, I hate to interrupt, but I believe your friend Earl is out the window waiting for you to say hello. He's just walked
Earl
past
Walker.
to your right.
Good morning, Earl. My very good friend. So we'll have to have him in. Oh, good. The door is open. So when we're done with Earl, then we're going to continue this conversation with Evan and Logan. How you doing, friend?
I was just wondering I'm in the right building or not.
This isn't. What's your name?
My name's George.
Oh, George. I'm sorry. We're doing a live show right now, so I apologize. I can't help you. I thought you were my friend Earl. I got confused. But what are you looking for?
Home buying class on the supposed to be in 211. Would that be?
Okay, because this is 217.
The address says 217. Is there another?
Wisconsin Avenue?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 217. You're in the right building.
But it must be on the second floor. I went up.
Yeah, so you could go through the front door, or else Anastasia will lead you out through the hallway, George, and we'll get you to where you're going. So, hey, best of luck, George. So, hey, that's Waukesha for you, man. It's like, that Richard Scarry book. You meet all these interesting people here. So that was great.
Live radio.
That was not scripted, friends. That was fun. So George is looking for a home buying class. So, and I wish him well. I say he looked a little too tall to be Earl Walker, but anyway, Logan was going to finish talking about who some of the upperclassmen were that were his role models, growing up in black shirt football.
Yeah, like I was saying, Tack and CJ, unfortunately, they did graduate, but they're doing good things at the University of St. Thomas.
The Tommies.
Yeah, roll Toms. But no, yeah, they were just great leaders. Everybody could look up to them. But now my senior class, they kind of have to implement some of the leadership that Tech and CJ had on some of these younger kids.
Sounds great. Ev, how about you?
I'd say one big guy, I feel like that was a really big leader, was my sophomore season. It was Dylan Gutenberg. He was an excellent receiver. He showed exactly what a team player was and how to present yourself on the field and how to present yourself at practice and be a leader. So I feel like that was one huge player for me.
Sounds great. Just so you don't get in trouble, any of the members of the Crillo family that you played ball with that were an influence?
Yeah, I was gonna say Anthony Carrillo was a huge influence on me. I feel like my sophomore year, he is textbook what you want in a leader and everything that you want. He is now at the Air Force Academy doing his thing. He's doing amazing now, but he is textbook what you want to look for in a
Sounds great. Okay, so, hey, we're going to go to another break. We get back. Johnny's going to be calling in from the farmer's market, and lots more as This Week in Waukesha continues. Don't go away. Calling in from the farmer's market, and lots more as This Week in Waukesha continues. Don't go away. Calling in from the farmer's market, and lots more. Waukesha, and this is more from the band from the iconic Martin Scorsese film The Last Waltz, and one of their greatest hits. You'll hear it right now from the voice of Lee Van Helm. The night they drove Old Dixie down, which, contrary to what many thought, is not a celebration of the old Confederacy. It was a story about a family where Lee Van Helm was from, which I believe was Tennessee or Arkansas, that was going through the hardships towards the end of the war, including a family member that was killed serving in the Confederacy, and just the trials and tribulation, just the relief that the war was finally over and all the anguish. And many during that time when the song came out had kind of made it into during the Vietnam War, one of the kind of the peace songs or war songs of the time. But a great ballad if you hear the story in the song. And the band had people had kind of phrased their music as Americana, and it kind of became a unique genre within rock. And so another great gift, as we remember Robbie Robertson of the band, who passed away this week. He actually wrote that song for Lee Van Helm, who as the drummer was the lead vocals on that. So very cool. But anyway, we're back with Coach Stillman, with Logan and his All Classic 8 seniors, Logan Tank Dable and Evan Stout. And we you know what? Johnny's back from the farmer's market here. He's calling in again. Hey, Johnny, if you're listening, I fed you a question, and the fellow's already answered it. Someone else already called in about role models. But what's going on at the farmer's market?
Well, it's just another beautiful day down here. The breeze is gone. The sun's out. I just want to give you an update on the mushroom stand. Of course, they've got a big line there. And Bayview Bread has got a big line. So all the classic stands are just busier than you know what. I just went and bought a tomato. They look beautiful. So
Sure.
The produce is there. So I'm just going to ask one. I know you got into the leadership thing there, but
Sure.
Coach, what do you guys do, kind of as a collective group there on the coaching side, to help instill some of that leadership qualities?
Well, it starts with having really good kids. Leadership, to me, you can foster it, but it's really hard to teach. And the two guys that are sitting next to me, whether it's football or whether it's the baseball program that we're a part of, I couldn't think of two better seniors for the younger guys to look up to and do what they do. They're the hardest workers in practice, and that's part of the leadership. You show the younger guys what to do and how to do it, and not just tell them how to do it. To me, that's leadership. Leadership is something that I think you're born with. I think you either have it or you don't. Some guys are quiet. You don't have to be a rah-rah guy to be a leader. But if you can lead by example and be one of the better guys on the team and be allowed to be one of the guys that are hardest, the coaches can coach the hardest, then you got something. And these two guys next to me have it.
Yeah. Well, we're certainly fortunate to have those two in the program. So thank you so much for everything. And I'm just going to sign off from the farmer's market.
Thanks, Johnny.
So Don and group, we'll see you.
Johnny Watermelon, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny will be helping me out with the broadcast for both Waukesha South, which they open up next Friday night at Milwaukee Lutheran, who they defeated 42-6, I believe was the score last year in our home opener. Now they're traveling to Milwaukee Lutheran. And before we get on to the season, Amanda Dable, Logan's mom, has just called in with a question, and she wants to know who has inspired you the most among the what coach would you say in your 8 years of playing football? They're both smiling. It's not Jared Dable. No, I'm just kidding.
Who inspired me? Probably.
That's not true. Jared was a great inspiration.
Probably Coach Nick. He's been with us since 5th grade.
Nick Mahalos, father of tailback and defensive back, or like linebacker. Vinny, everything. Vinny Capoletti Mahalos.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Nick has been with us since 5th grade. We've been lucky to have him jump up to high school with us, and he's just kind of been that coach that you can go to with any concern, any question, and he will help you anytime you need it. he actually lets us like work out at his house. He's just that guy that really just pushes you. We've had a couple disagreements with each other, but we just have a great relationship now, and that's the one guy that I don't want to lose.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the perfect answer right there. It's just with Coach Nick's been with us since 5th grade. That's counted, I'm pretty sure, 8 years now. So that's just, he's always been with us. He's always been there for us, and we know we can go to him for everything. I'd say, so I'll put out a different answer, though. For one coach for me would be Coach McLean. He's a coach that I'm very close with and got very close with. He started at South my sophomore year. He is not on the coach staff anymore, but I am still very close with him today. And I feel like he's a great role model, and he's a guy that I feel like I could go to for everything.
Sounds great. And hey, just one quick announcement here with the Carroll Minute. So Coach Stillman's offended my Spartan sensibilities with the Purdue T-shirt, but it's forgiven because his daughter will be starting there, a bright student, and looking forward to some great things. So, but in my retaliation, I've got the Carroll hat on, a gift from Coach Mike Budaszewski, head coach at Carroll. And John went to college at North Central, defending national Division III football champions from the same conference. And you were there for baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was there I played football and baseball there for 4 years.
Sounds great. So, but I just, for Carroll, I wanted to give a big shout out to Mike Westermeyer, who's their new director of athletic communications, and he's filling in quite nicely. He comes up from Beloit College, and he also worked at Ripon College too in sports information and communication. So it was great to connect with him, and as he gets his sea legs. And athletic director Mike Schulist will be my guest on August 26th. And I was thinking, Dan Schreier, South AD, if you're still listening, maybe you could join us on that Saturday, the 26th. I think that'd be great to have the two ADs together. So if you're willing and able and in town. So, but going back to Evan and Logan, now Evans has made a commitment to the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, which is a great culture starting, with their football program there. And tell us about that, Ev.
I feel like it was kind of just like it was an easy decision for me to make because that school and that program is just building up, and I feel like the coaches there, they have a brand new coaching staff. They wiped it. They have, I think, one returning coach coming in, and just the facilities mixed with the culture there, I feel like was a really easy decision to make, and that's why I ended up committing to UW-Eau Claire.
Sounds great. How about you, Logan? What are you looking at these for next steps?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with sports-wise, if I do want to go play at the next level. But I want to, go into the health field. Nice. I am in the health academy at Waukesha South. Great program. But I'm not sure. Lacrosse is probably a top option right now. Definitely going to get out there, look at it, and just see where the future takes me.
That sounds great. Thanks. Yeah, I just heard back from Dan Schreier. Now, he is willing to join us on August 26th along with Mike Schulist, Carroll's athletic director. So that'll be a great show. And don't forget, State Rep Scott Allen is my guest next week, and really excited to have Assemblyman Allen on his first appearance here on the show. So we were talking about the first game against Milwaukee Lutheran, which will be brought, and it's there. And contrary to the score, that was a good game because we put up the first 20 points, and Milwaukee Lutheran came back with a touchdown to end the half. They came out with the ball. They had a great return. They marched down the field. If they score, it's a different game. But our defense, you guys were out there, shut them down. I know Evan had a knocked a pass, a touchdown pass attempt. Probably should have caught it, but that's another story. But anyway, you guys gave a huge stand, and then you rolled into the second half. How do you? What's the scouting report on Milwaukee Lutheran? Do we have one, or do we know what? You figure they're going to be at home, and they may be a little bit hungrier.
Oh yeah, their memories are intact, and we expect a lot of the same things for our game plan and putting that together. This weekend is going to be looking at their scrimmages, going back into last year and seeing what they did well against us, and hopefully, figuring out a way to stop that.
Sounds great. Yeah, because they had some guys in skill, like that quarterback, I believe, is returning, and he could do a lot running and passing.
They're fast.
There was a rather large guy. He might have even been the nose tackle. He was the punter, and they must have faked like 5 or 6. And I think every time he got a first down, because as big as he was fast, and he ran. He was hard to bring down.
Well, wasn't he the one that almost ran down Chris on that touchdown? One of our fastest guys.
Yeah. So it should be a good game. And then your home game then will be on that'll be August 25th, and that'll be against Ellsworth, our first time play. Where is It's like further north, isn't it?
It's man, you put me on the spot. It's about 3 hours north.
Okay.
That game.
Hopefully the bus ride will get them tight.
Well, I believe that game is going to start at 6 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock, mainly so that they can get home.
Okay.
A little bit earlier, but that's my understanding.
I'm glad you let me know so I can let our engineering know.
And that is also our alumni night, where we've had a tradition of having alumni, almost like a block party outside of the
antennae,
the east end zone antennae. And so if any alumni are listening, come on out and cheer us on.
Sounds great. And then after that, you break into the Classic 8. Any reports on who's going to be the team to beat in the class? I mean, they're all the team to beat, but is there anyone that kind of stands above the rest?
Usual suspects. McQuantico is going to be a little upset for the way they finished. Arrowhead is any of those teams that have the numbers they don't rebuild, they reload.
Yeah. Okay. So also for the home opener on the 25th, Jared Dables reminded us it's also Logan's birthday, so a lot of expectations for him there on the big day. So thanks for sharing that, Jared. And I'm trusting there'll be I believe there's a party that weekend, so the whole city of Waukesha is invited to the Dable house.
Sweet.
But so that's going to be another exciting season, another tough season. Now the question in everyone's mind was, again, because of the slew of injuries we had last year, we did have to forfeit the last 2 games. What are we doing? I guess there's really not much you can do to offset that, right? I mean, you play hard, you stretching, lifting, running, all those things. You stay in the best shape that you can.
Yep.
But any other tricks? Any other?
Well, no one's allowed to get hurt.
Yeah.
That's the first and foremost rule.
Sure.
We are going to do whatever we can do to make this a really good experience for these guys. There are things that, like last year, that was out of our control. The injuries mounted up, and
sure.
I to be honest with you, that decision last year really affected me as a South grad, as someone who, this South means a lot to me, and I don't take that lightly.
Class of 87, right?
Class of 87. The guys laugh at me when they hear that, but
in the sports Hall of Fame there too, right? For football.
But it is something that I don't take lightly, and I know that there have been a lot of people that have played before me, a lot of people that I played with, a lot of people that have played with the bird on their helmet since then, and there's a lot that will play going forward, and I think we owe it to them and to do what we can to see it through. I don't have a crystal ball in front of me.
Sure.
But we know what we're up against, and we're gonna do what I tell the guys every day, and it fits. All you can do is all you can do.
Sounds good. Good.
We'll do it.
Hey, when we come back from the break in the final segment, we'll talk about the rest of the season and the plans for their venture into the Parkland Conference starting next year. Don't go away.
Currently, it's 6.
Here we go.
Hey, we're back this week in Waukesha, and you're listening to Van Morrison with the band in The Last Waltz. One of my favorite scenes from that movie. We're telling Logan and Evan if they expect to play for South, they have to watch this movie. along with their senior teammates. I saw one of my favorite. It used to be a T-shirt of the band. They have the silhouette of the guys, and it says, "Oh, your band has a lead singer. How cute!" Like they did not have a lead. Everybody sang different songs in that band, and that's what also made them really cool. It was a collective, and much like these guys were. I was trying to maybe get all the seniors here to fit in the studio. Hector, the Inspector Carranza, the quarterback. Ben Jimenez, the Polish rifle, also quarterback and defensive player. He doesn't like being called Gentle Ben anymore because, again, he doesn't know that Gentle Ben was this big, hulking grizzly. But Vinny Capoletti Mahalos. David Laux, I saw. It's good to see him continuing to play with the program, and he's getting some looks there at receiver. I know I'm missing a few.
Gabe Lascano.
Gabe Lascano caught a touchdown yesterday, and he's not a senior, but his little brother Seth also looked really good out there.
Tyler Thrill Williams, who missed most of last season, so really excited for him to come back. And I saw him make a body slam tackle that was, and it wasn't dirty, it was clean and it was good, great. And he looked great out there. Had a couple catches at receiver. Isaiah
Dunlap really impressed me. He's put on some weight in a good way. He's harder to break. He runs hard. Looked great on defense. When he first came on the team, which I believe was in sixth grade. He could. I saw him playing linebacker, and he looked great out there. And it reminded me of him in sixth grade, the way that Isaiah played. And who else am I missing from that crew? And you guys, stuck it out. There was a lot of other guys along the way that we miss, and that they kind of dropped off. Oh, Justin Primetime Geezy, who's been there since fifth grade. So, Sweetie Geezy, great to see him back out there, and looking forward for him to have an explosive year. Also an accomplished wrestler, for the South program. Had a winning season. I think he had 4 or 5 losses, maybe his whole So lots to look forward to with these seniors who put so much into the program, especially through the hard times. But the one thing on your resume was that 8th grade team that won your division. Again, I know it's a Classic 8, but what are you guys telling the younger guys as they get ready for the Parkland Conference? I mean, the fact that you played against these guys in 8th grade, I'm sure there's a lot you could share.
I'd say just because you're going to the new conference, take no one
lightly.
No one lightly. No, don't go into a game thinking this is a new conference. We should be you should go into every single game knowing that you should play with this team. You should beat this team, even in the Classic 8. You should go into the game knowing that you're about to play a football game against other people, and your goal is to try and win the game.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's one thing that they should know going into this conference, that no game should be taken lightly, and that you should go into every game wanting to win.
Point taken. You look at the and I'm getting my sea legs around the Parkland. CMH used to be in the Classic 8 for football. Of course, they're at the top. You also have Eisenhower, which has been in. They've made it to state a few times in recent years. New Berlin West also had a great season. They only had 2 or 3 losses last year. They made the playoffs. They had a great team. I believe it's both the TOSA schools, right?
West Al Central,
and
the TOSAs, yeah.
So the big difference, though, between these teams, which are all formidable in the Classic 8, is that the demographics match up. About same size student body, same size teams. And that's all us South parents have just wanted for our young men is, they could go 0-9 again, or 1 or 2 or whatever that is. But if the games are a 3-point, 7-point loss, 10 like that, it's competitive. Mm-hmm. And those 4 quarters of football.
Well, and if you've seen any of our games in the last couple of years, we tend to, because of our roster, with in the past years we've had 40 or 50 guys on the sideline, and you look across at other schools and they have twice that, 90 to 100. And at least a couple years ago, and even against Kettle Moraine last year, the first half have been very competitive halves in a lot of the games, even against the big boys. And
sure.
Then the depth takes over and lack of it for us. And there's no shame in that game. There's no shame in things like that happening. As long as we're showing up in the efforts there, I don't have any shame in that.
So we look at West Dallas, Nathan Hale, they're not in the park, but they're comparable. Mm-hmm. And we did a home and home with them, and first time at our house we lost on maybe the last play of the game. So we played them at their house. We won on the last play of the game, an interception from Evan Stout, and at the end zone. But that lead changed like 4 or 5 times in the last 5 minutes.
That last 5 minutes
that was great football.
The craziest 5 minutes I've ever seen.
Awesome football. Yeah, it really was something. And and that's what all we want is just a competitive playing field. We're not like we didn't do this to get a better playoff spot as someone accused CMH of doing. Yeah. So, but in the 3 minutes we have left, what is it you want Waukesha to know about this year's team and what they can expect for this season?
Yeah, despite our record, the people we have on the field are just warriors. Like, they come out every day for practice, every Friday night, every Thursday, and they just battle with their heart. They're just great people we have here, and we just keep getting better leaders and better people.
Sounds great. Ev?
Yeah, I expect us to go out and fight every single day at practice and games. I expect good football all around, special teams, offense, defense from our Waukesha South Black Shirts.
Sounds great. So one thing I want to cut into is that another way to prevent injuries is this week the Horb Skate Park reopened with the grand opening that included a DJ and picnic. It was really nice. But Coach Stillman's made it clear none of the football players are allowed to use the skate park. And Evan and Logan and any other football seniors on the baseball team, they got to wait till the day after graduation if they want to take up skateboard. Is that fair, Coach?
Fair, because baseball season lasts until about that time, too.
That's right. So, hey, also, again, we're broadcasting South Football again. We're going to be broadcasting Carroll for the first time. But for those of you traveling around the state, a lot of you have homes up north, Civic Media and our 20-plus stations, they're broadcasting Brewers, Packers, Badgers. So download the Civic Media app so you can catch your favorite teams as you're traveling or driving. I know as you go up north and the internet's not so great too, the radio is a great source. And then also for any of you businesses that do business statewide, we got some great sponsorship packages. So I just wanted to throw that out there so you're all aware. There's some really great opportunities through WAUK Radio and Civic Media. So in the final minute, guys, is there practice? Today's your day off from practice, and you got practice tomorrow. No practice tomorrow, so you're off the weekend. So, well, great. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me today and for all that you've done for Waukesha South. I wish you all the best for the season. We look forward to broadcasting your first game next Friday with Johnny Watermelon. And, again, State Rep Scott Allen is my guest next week. Please be sure to be there. And on the 26th, we've got ADs Dan Schreier and Mike Schulis from South and Carroll, respectively. Morning Cannolis with James Santel is on next. It's a recorded show, so we didn't get to have any cannolis, but hopefully next time. So thanks again for joining us. Enjoy this weather. Please remember, safety is everyone's responsibility, and see ya!